Space Cowboy Books presents Simultaneous Times, a science and speculative fiction podcast. Short stories to stir the imagination by contemporary authors.
Tips for Living Out of Sync for the Frequent Time Traveler by A.C. Wise, with music by Red, Blue, Black, Silver, read by Jean-Paul Garnier. One, get used to saying goodbye. At least once in your journeying, you will find that people who matter the most in your life don't know you yet. From their perspective, you haven't met, and they will be reluctant to trust you. They may even think you unhinged when you, in turn, tell them that you trust them with your life and they are the only ones who can help you. As you introduce yourself to them all over again, trying desperately to make them understand who you are and how important it is that they listen to you, you may well feel like you are losing your best friend. You may find yourself looking into the eyes of a lover, the person who is not yet your mother, or not yet your son, who knows precisely how you like your eggs and that your favorite soda is cherry lime, who has been through the worst and the best times with you, and see no recognition at all. It will feel like goodbye. It will feel like the world ending and your heart breaking every single time. 2. Get used to saying hello. See above. This may be harder or easier than goodbye, depending on the circumstances, but you will spend a lot of time saying hello as well. You will spend a lot of time explaining who you are and where in your timeline and theirs you are respectively, relatively speaking, all while trying not to give too much away. Things will get confusing. You will encounter blank stares and the hurt look of someone who knows you better than you know yourself, who isn't used, as you are, to saying goodbye every time they say hello. 3. Always pack a sweater, a water bottle, a box of Band-Aids, aspirin, and a handful of protein bars. This is just common sense. No one likes to be cold, hungry, thirsty, or have a headache, and blisters are no fun, especially given the amount of time you generally spend running. A clean change of socks couldn't hurt either. 4. This is important. This is very important. Don't forget, whatever you do, hold that thought. 5. No spoilers. The temptation to peek ahead and see how things will turn out can be nigh irresistible. But if you think blisters are no fun, try paradoxes. The future isn't always bright, but untangling the time stream once you've fucked it up trying to avoid the unpleasant future you glimpsed while looking where you shouldn't have usually only fucks it up further. Similarly, sending messages to your past self as warnings gets just as messy. And 9 times out of 10, whatever action you take to try to avoid the thing you're set on avoiding ends up being the thing that causes it in the first place. Try reading some Greek tragedies. You'll get the gist of it. 6. Ignore items 1 through 5. Fuck the rules. Make your own rules. You don't have to accept things the way they are. You can still change it. You can still save everyone. There's still time. 7. Trust no one. I realize this might seem contradictory or hypocritical given the number of times you have and will ask people to take a leap of faith and trust you. There's no reason they should believe that you are who you say you are, or that you really possess the knowledge you claim to possess, or that you do indeed have their best interest at heart. But trust me when I tell you that there are a lot of people out there who will use the moments of disorientation you will inevitably feel, while flinging yourself through time, to try and make you doubt your senses. They may claim to know you, or to know the outcome of actions you have not yet taken, and make promises to help you based on that knowledge. But really, they're only trying to twist the situation to their own advantage and get what they want. And we can't let that happen, can we? 8. Remember. This is important. If you forget everything else, please remember this. I love you. I love you, and I'm going to set things right. I swear. I know how it all turns out, and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to get things right this time. Just hold on. 9. Do not, I repeat, do not give in to the temptation to reset the timeline. The opportunity will come up sooner or later. It always does. It's as inevitable as the creation of paradoxes while trying to avoid unpleasant futures. You will eventually stumble into a future, or a past, where the technology, or the magic, or the liminal, indistinguishable intersection between the two exists to allow you to start over again. You swear to yourself you will fix things. You will set things right. But you have no idea the danger you are putting yourself and others in by doing this. Think carefully. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to erase everything that's ever been? The lives lived, the joys, the sorrows, the experiences that shaped you and made you who you are just for the chance to save one life? Or 2? Or 10? What are the mathematics of compassion? The equations of sympathy? Are you willing to play God and choose who lives and who dies just because you have a broken heart? Just because you don't want to live with the fact that you fucked up? That they would all be alive if it wasn't for you? Think carefully before you answer. Would you give it all up for 10? Yes. Always. The answer is yes. Every single time. Premium Resurrection Pack, $99, by Renan Bernardo, with music by Fog Machine, read by Jean-Paul Garnier and Zara. Premium Resurrection Pack, full mind backup and body upload included, for $99. No ads, no separate module purchases. Sure, Ronnie went to the movies every weekend, drank his share of good wine, and occasionally indulged in a half-century-old scotch. But $100 was too much for a product from Cloudmind Enterprises, a company filled with youngsters who had barely made it out of high school. "Are you sure you don't want the full version, sir?" asked the sales bot in the augmentation store. "Free is all I need," he said, before the sales bot could babble into default wheedling. So he bought the Resurrection Pack, full mind backup and body upload included. He liked to think he exchanged the word premium for a few ignorable ads and the safety of his $99, which he instead spent on 2 bottles of Malbec. He was no fool. That was the right place for his money. At home, he put on the input cap to back up all his valuable thoughts to the cloud server of Cloudmind Enterprises. After it was all set up and ready to start, he opened one of the Malbecs to celebrate his thrift. When the holo projector progress bar chimed complete, taking a drive to visit his ex-wife at 2 a.m. seemed like a good idea. Why not? Ronnie never saw the garbage truck. What a sight. Ronnie had never imagined death would be so pleasant. He posed and grinned at his reflection. He didn't have bulging muscles, but neither did he have crooked teeth. His face wasn't free of wrinkles, but his hair didn't find a lair inside his ears. Happy ending. 4 years had passed since the accident. According to Cloudmind, It was the time they needed to develop their bio-replacement bodies. Ronnie's bank account had been reactivated, inflation adjusted, and a CloudMind-owned house had been assigned to him. All the recommended procedures of how to reintroduce himself to friends and family, and how to re-enter the labor market, were things he would leave for another week. For a month or two, Ronnie intended to enjoy a post-death vacation, with copious amounts of wine, of course. The streets were full and the buildings completely renovated with renewable energy production, automatic waste management, and auto-cleaning windows. The most boggling thing, though, was the CloudMind Enterprises logo. It was everywhere, from TV ads and outdoors to holographic projections and toast stamps. On his way to Wine Style, a jolt ran through his neck. He was compelled to turn his head to the left.
You want to lose weight?
An overly smiling woman said on the TV inside the showcase to his left. Ronnie's hearing amplified and focused on it.
Try our new products.
No, he wasn't overweight. He hadn't been before and he surely wasn't now. But he couldn't take his eyes off the TV. He tried to look just a little bit to the side, but his pupils were automatically pulled to the weight loss product and everything around it blurred. The commercial ended. Ronnie's head eased up and his sight cleared up.
The ads.
He said it out loud to himself.
But I thought...
No way. It should have been ads on his phone and tablet. Bells pealed at Weinstyle's door as he entered.
I want 5 of those.
He pointed at a rack. 2 wouldn't do anymore. He needed more to think about the ads. The salesbot opened its hand and pressed his thumb on its palm. A red light flashed on its wrist. Sorry, sir. You don't have the module to purchase alcohol.
What the hell does that mean?
Oh, but he knew. His new life was freemium.
I should have paid the $99.
He snickered with clenched teeth and snatched up his outdated smartphone to check CloudMind's status.
The full version for people who have already used the system cost $99,999.
Sir, you can buy the module, said the salesbot. He touched his smartphone and saw it. 3-month alcohol pack, $19. He purchased it and left with 5 bottles of Pinot Noir. But once at home, he couldn't focus on the TV. West Korea's nuclear crisis and the new wall across the Canadian border seemed like small issues when compared to his condition. He'd already died. His body had been crushed by garbage, and now he had to live like an ad consumer machine. Okay, he had his second chance in life, but it wasn't working properly. He had his right to the service warranty. Ronnie started his old car, intent to drive to CloudMind headquarters, but almost veered off through his neighbor's front garden. Oh yeah, another $19 gone for the 3-month driving pack. License does not include parking. Before he could even reach CloudMind, he'd already spent $280 in 3-month parking skills. License does not include tight spaces, 6-month shoelace tying, and lifetime basic math. And the worst of it all? He couldn't purchase new abilities like 1-year French speaking and 7-month swimming, stamina packs sold separately. He could only unlock what he knew in his ugly-bodied incarnation. He lurched inside CloudMind's headquarters.
I demand the full version,
Ronnie yelled. Suited people glared at the weirdo. By the looks on their faces, he wasn't the first.
You're stealing my money.
Sir, relax. The full version is always available.
A woman stood in front of him, an unfading smile engraved on her face. Her tag read, Mrs. Acker, Dissatisfaction PR.
Selling my soul, maybe.
Sir, you accepted our terms of service when you acquired the free version.
The smile persisted.
This can't be legal.
Ronnie clenched his teeth.
Give me the full version or I'll sue you.
Miss Acker sighed, her smile fading.
Okay, sir. Would you mind if I switch you to another version, ad-free? No need for modules.
Well, yes.
He opened his arms. Mrs. Acker touched a gleaming icon on her bio-tattooed wrist and indicated his smartphone with her chin.
Read the terms and accept them.
Ronnie stared at his phone for 2 seconds and tapped accept.
Sir,
Miss Acker said, rolling her eyes.
never mind.
She turned her back and left.
Was that hard?
He yelled at her before she entered her office.
Thank you for understanding my rights.
Ronnie left, smiling. He was no fool. CloudMind Enterprises is the future, said a bot in an outdoor announcement. Your future, our future. With our services, the worldwide economy has grown 287%.
I want 10 of those.
Ronnie pointed at the rack in wine style. The sales bot opened its palm for the payment. Before he could reach it with his thumb, a jolt ran through his neck. His sight blurred. A voice in his head said,
CloudMind Enterprises thanks you for using our services.
He fell hard on the floor. Ronnie never saw the end date of his trial resurrection pack. Valid only for 7 days. In this episode of Simultaneous Times, you heard Tips for Living Out of Sync for the Frequent Time Traveler by A.C. Wise, with music by Red, Blue, Black, Silver, and Premium Resurrection Pack, $99 by Renan Vehenando, with music by Fog Machine. Theme music by Dane Luscombe. Out now, Simultaneous Times Volume 2 Paperback Science Fiction Anthology. And this month, we have a special free gift for you at our new website, spacecowboybooks.com. Download the free ebook, Simultaneous Times Volume 2.5, with stories you've heard here on this podcast and some that you haven't. Get in touch with us on Instagram and Twitter. We'd love to know what you think of the show.